So it's been a while since I've had you guys in the kitchen and like us making something together. At least it feels like it's been a while. And today I'm gonna try something different that I haven't had before. So I've made tons and tons of rolls, but I have some pickles in my fridge that I need to use up, and I thought, you know, why don't I try some dill pickle rolls? I've seen a lot of people making like dill pickle sourdough and stuff like that, and I love pickles, and everybody here loves pickles. So we're gonna give it a try. It may turn out horrible and they may be disgusting, but they may be delicious. So I'm doing half a batch of the type of rolls I would typically do. I'm adding a little bit less water just to kind of make up for the water in the pickles. And I'm sure I'll have to adjust the flour here or there too. But let's get started making some pickle dinner rolls because why not? So for this recipe, I am using sourdough, but I'm using the discard. So it's not active starter, it's just the discard. So you are also going to need to add in some regular active yeast. But I really like the flavor. I really like the flavor that the sourdough gives to this. So I have some warm water here, and I also have butter. The recipe calls for oil, but I like to use butter in my rolls, and I just prefer using butter over oil when it comes to that. So I have some melted butter and some warm water. Just make sure you don't get your water too hot, otherwise the yeast will die. So I'm going to add some yeast to this. I've got 1 cup of water. Typically you'd add like 1 1/4. But I only added 1 cup just to make up the difference for that juice. And I added 2 tablespoons of butter, which equals to 1/8 cup. So I've got that all warm and ready. And now I'm going to add a tablespoon of yeast to this. And once I get that yeast added, it's going to sit for 10 minutes so it can get nice and bubbly. Okay, so that's been sitting for 10 minutes now. Also, ignore the dishes behind me. In the camper, there's no space to have dishes put anywhere while they dry. So I have to lay a towel back there and let them dry back there. Anyways, not that I needed to explain, but there you go. So now this has been sitting for 10 minutes. So I'm just going to pour that in a little container here. And so for this recipe, I'm going to add 1/2 cup of the discard in here. And again, it's not fed, it's just my sourdough discard. I'm just going to give it a little mix. Another thing, I am going to be adding just regular like granulated sugar to this. I do usually prefer adding honey to my rolls. I think it just tastes better, and plus honey's better for you. So I do typically add honey, but I ran out completely of my really big jar of honey. So I typically just buy like a really big jar, and it lasts me a very long time. And so now I'm in need of more honey. I'm just gonna mix all that together really well. And everything. At the end of this video, I'm gonna show you some of the updates on the house and what we've gotten done. Today, Irby and my dad are actually right now driving to the store to go pick up more lumber, and I can't remember exactly what they had to get, something for like the top of the rooms, like whatever goes right below the trusses, I don't know. Anyways, they had to get some of that, and then we have the lumber company coming to deliver all the wood that's going to go on the outside of the house. So they're on their way with that, so hopefully I don't get interrupted by that, but if I do, it'll be okay. So I'm just going to get that all mixed nice and good together. And now I'm actually going to go ahead and chop up some of our pickles and add just like a 1/4 cup of that pickle juice just for the flavor. And then I'm going to chop up some pickles to do like the inclusions part. So here we go. This could be the fail or most wonderful rolls ever. So let's see what it's going to be. I am going to chop these up in fairly small pieces since I'm doing rolls. I don't want like big chunks of pickle, which I'm sure they'll kind of shrivel up a bit while they're cooking, but either way, these pickles smell so good. I love pickles. I had a massive fail making pickles the first time I tried making them, and I haven't tried since. So this year, I am planting some pickling cucumber, and hopefully they will turn out really well. All right, so now it's time for, I feel like my head's getting cut off here. Now it's time for the rest of the stuff. I'm gonna add an 1/8 cup of sugar. I'm going to add a teaspoon of salt, and then 4 1/4 cups of flour. I think that's all I'm adding. I think that's it. Oh, I do need to add some. I need to add a 1/4 cup of the pickle juice because I forgot that. And then we're going to get to mixing everything up together. I don't measure. Like when it's a teaspoon, I typically do not take out an actual teaspoon and measure. I just say, yeah, that looks about right. So that's my way of measuring teaspoons. This is a 1/3 cup measuring cup, so I'm just going to do slightly less than this of that sugar. It is a 1/4 cup, right? No, I need an 1/8 cup. I keep on getting myself like, I keep getting confused with my measurements. All right, so 1/8 cup of sugar. If y'all are thinking, okay, this is going to be absolutely disgusting with the sugar in the rolls, it does not make the rolls taste sweet with the amount of sugar that this recipe calls for. They're not sweet rolls, so it doesn't make them taste sweet, I promise. Just trust the process, okay? All right, now our flour. Again, it's 4 1/4 cups of flour going in this. I do typically double this recipe, and that gives us, number one, it gives us plenty of rolls, but it also gives us some for the next day as well, which is always nice. And I'm just using unbleached all-purpose flour for this. Typically I buy bread flour, but our store has not been carrying bread flour at all. So I have to go out of town to get it. So I've just been buying the unbleached all-purpose because every time I go out into town, I forget that I need it. Ooh, got a little extra. 4. Which is okay because I think I'm probably going to need a little bit extra anyways. 1/4. And then we're just going to give this a little mix. And see how it is. If I need to add more, I'm going to add more just as we go. And I'll show you how you can tell if you need more too. I think those pickles that I added were definitely enough. So I can see it all throughout the dough. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you how the dough is looking. I'm debating on adding more flour. I think I'm going to add just a tiny bit more because if you can see, the dough, it's still pretty wet. And for your rolls, when you start out with your rolls, some spots are going to be wet and kind of sticky, but you're also still going to have some dry spots that you're really going to need to incorporate and once you start mixing with your hands. But if you can see this dough is still pretty wet. So I'm just going to add a little bit more flour over that. Not much. I'm not going to measure it. I'm just going to sprinkle it over the top. Just to make sure that we have plenty of flour. And then I'll just incorporate that in. I am going to put the recipe fully down in the description, so don't worry. In case I accidentally forget to say a measurement, or if you're not following along writing it down, I will have it written in the description for you. Okay, now at this stage, once I've gotten it to this point, I'm going to start mixing with my hands. So that's definitely what I recommend. It just comes together better, in my opinion, if you mix it with your hands. Plus, that's where the love comes in, right? Now, I will say, when it comes to mixing dough, one of the mistakes that a lot of people make is not mixing their dough long enough. Whenever you first mix your dough for rolls like this, and for many other things, you are going to want to mix it for like a good 10 minutes, about 7 to 10 minutes first, just to get that gluten going and to make sure that you have everything thoroughly mixed together, and you're just going to get a better result from that. So when it says mix your dough, don't just mix it for like 2 minutes and leave it. That's why a lot of recipes say for you to put it in your mixer and use a dough hook, because a lot of people don't want to stand here and keep on mixing their dough for 10 minutes. But that's definitely necessary. I mean, it'll still turn out good. It'll still taste good, but to get those really fluffy, nice rolls that you're looking for, you're going to want to roll it for like 10 minutes. I'm going to keep mixing it for about 10 minutes. I'm going to set a timer, and then I'll come back and show you guys. I may actually go ahead and add a little bit of flour because it is getting stickier than it usually does. So I'm just going to add a little bit more and incorporate it in there. But I will see you guys back in 10 minutes once I've mixed it all together. Alright, we've gotten right close at that 10-minute mark. I did go ahead and add a little bit more flour. Also, another tip, if you dampen your hands just a little bit, not very much at all, it does kind of help with the stickiness too, and just help you mix it better. But I've been mixing for about 10 minutes now, and the dough is looking like this now. So I'm going to let that sit down in there, and we're going to let it rise for about 45 minutes to an hour. It just depends on the temperature in your house. For us in the camper, it stays a little bit cooler than it would in a house, so I may have to wait an hour, but last time 45 minutes was enough. So gonna let this sit and we'll come back. A little tip for letting it sit: you can turn your oven on warm and then turn it back off once it's just like barely gotten warm, and then put your dough in there to rise, and that can help it along a little bit. So typically I'll turn ours on, and just like right when it's starting to get warm, I'll turn it off again and then leave my dough in there to rise. So just a little tip for you. Now our 45 minutes is up, and I'm gonna be honest, it didn't fully double, but we have an appointment to go to, and so I kind of got to get these done and in the oven pretty quickly. But the dough feels nice, so I'm just gonna form these into little ball shapes. This is typically how I do mine. Sometimes I'll like tuck them in, depending on how sticky or not sticky the dough is. This dough is a little bit stickier right now. I think it's just the extra moisture from the pickles. But I'm gonna go ahead and keep making these, and then once I've made them, they're gonna sit on the pan again. Since we punched that dough down, they're gonna sit on the pan again for another 45 minutes, and then it'll be time to cook them and we can try them. The dough smells really nice. Are you excited? The dough does smell really nice. So hopefully it'll taste as nice as it smells. I forgot to grease our pan. It's okay. It'll be okay. The dough is stickier than it usually is, and it's a lot stickier than when I mixed it up earlier. Again, I think it's just because of that extra moisture from the pickles, but it'll be fine, I'm sure. I hope. Our garden, I know I didn't show you guys the garden today, but it's coming along well. I just don't want y'all to be like, okay, we've seen your garden enough. But I do plan on having many more videos of our vegetables and how they're growing. Oh, this is getting to be a mess now. Okay, note to self: definitely add more flour when doing this next time, because it's really sticky. It's really sticky, because once you roll the balls, it should not be this sticky after it's had time to sit. But I'm gonna go ahead and let these here sit for another 45 minutes, rise again, and then they'll be ready to cook. Typically what I do, I'll give you what to use for a regular oven. Since I'm in the camper oven, I have to do it a little bit differently. I cook them for about 10 minutes and then I have to flip them, otherwise they would burn. And then I cook them for another 10 minutes. In your regular oven, obviously you're not going to be flipping them, and your time may vary because this oven gets really hot. So yeah, but I'll add the regular recipe times and everything to the description though. So while our dill pickle rolls are going, I'm gonna take you guys outside and show you the progress that's being made on the house. We have a whole other like section of walls, so let's go look. They're getting up real high today and getting the, I don't know, whatever boards go across the rooms. I don't know what they're called, but they're getting those done today. And we have all these walls done now, and then the wall to what will be our bathroom done, and that opposite wall. So lots more done since you guys have seen it last. I lied, I will show you guys a little bit of the garden today. I figured while I was outside I may as well go ahead. I don't have any of the tomatoes popping up yet, but here they are. I need to water them again this morning. Well, afternoon now, but I need to go ahead and give them some more watering. I don't see any of them popping up, which I don't expect them to be. We just planted them. But we do have some popping up back here. Look, our snow peas are popping up. And then we've got more snow peas over here. I planted carrots over here also, but I don't see them popping up because that's not a carrot. That's what I think might be our tomatoes or something. I'm not sure. But look at how well our snow peas are doing. Doing really good. So that's exciting. I did go ahead and plant some sugar snap, no, not sugar snap peas. I went ahead and planted some bush green beans in this one here. I just did 2 rows of that. And then I think 2 rows, 2 or 3. No, I did 2 rows. I did 2 rows of that, and then I left the back just open for now because I do want to plant some sugar snap peas. But I still have ants in that back corner, and so I need to get rid of them before I go planting them in there. But our onions are still looking great and doing really good. Over here we have more growth there, and whatever those are, I don't know. I'm curious as to what this is, because that is different than this. That I did purposefully plant. I want to say those are tomatoes, but they don't really look like tomatoes to me either. I don't know. We will see what the garden has given us and decided to grow this year. But our radishes are doing even better than when I showed you the other day. Look here. I showed y'all this one the other day and how big it was already, but it is just, let's see. Look at how big that is. Those are getting really close to being ready to be harvested. So, and again, I still haven't repotted our mint here. Still haven't repotted that, but I need to really soon. But it's looking so wonderful. So, I do need to repot that soon though. Hello. I cannot believe what I did. I wanted to add extra dill to give it even more of a dill flavor, and I completely forgot. Oh well. I guess if these turn out really good, I'll do it again and then make sure to add some dill next time. I knew I should have pulled it off the shelf. I'm very much so, if I can't see it, it doesn't exist. And so I have to have everything right there, which is why I typically pull everything out that I need for a recipe before I make it, and then I completely forgot. Oh well, it's about time to flip these, so I'm gonna flip them before they burn on the bottom, and that way I can cook them for another 10 minutes so we can give them a try. That's one thing I dislike about this oven too, is that I have to flip everything, and if I didn't have to flip it, they would be nice and fluffy. But they're gonna go a little flatter once I flip them over. These are seeming to be more dense, and I don't know if, oh, that's hot. And I don't know if that's just because they didn't seem to rise as well today. And I don't know, oh, we lost one. Come back. I don't know if that is because it's been so cold today. It's been really cold, and it's been really cold in the camper because I refuse to turn the heat on because really we don't need it. But they definitely didn't rise as they did yesterday. But this is what I mean when I talk about our camper oven. These have only been in here for 10 minutes, and I can't move them any higher because then the top part of the dough will hit the top part of the oven. It's a very small oven. You'll see how small it is and how little space I have. Okay, moment of truth. I'm gonna pull these out of the oven. The oven's been turned off for a little bit. I just had them sitting in there. So let's pull them out. It does smell very pickly in here right now. So I'm gonna open one of these up and see. Oh, they're very hot. But fresh rolls are the best anyways. Yes, I'm sure about that. But I'm gonna just cut one open and take a bite. You're gonna have to wait a minute because I'm not gonna let you burn your mouth. But I'm gonna try one. I'm really disappointed about that dill. No lie, guys. Really disappointed.
What dill?
I forgot to put dill in it. Like fresh dill. Well, not fresh dill, but dried dill. I forgot. I was gonna add it in there. And I forgot. Okay. They don't look very fluffy. They look kind of fluffy on one part, but because I have to flip them, it just kind of... Dill car. I thought there was a pickle right there. I was wanting to get a bite with a pickle. Watch it be like the only spot that doesn't have a pickle. Oh well, we'll try it without.
Wait, I think I saw a pickle right there.
Oh, you're right. You found a pickle. But I'm gonna try this and let's see. It smells really good.
I heard that crunch.
It's really good. Okay. That is really good. Honestly, the bite without a pickle, it's really hot, so be careful. Like, hang on. There you go. Just be careful. The bite with the pickle is really good. The bread doesn't taste super pickly. Let me just taste the spot without. Okay. So there's still like a small little hint of pickle taste where the pickle is not. I think next time I'll probably add more of the pickle juice, more than just the 4th cup, and not do as much water. Maybe next time I can, like, I can't completely replace the water because I'm gonna need the yeast to bloom in the water. But if I did like an like active sourdough, I could always just add pickle juice instead. So that would be one thing. But I think next time I'll probably do that just to get even more of the pickle taste. But these are really good. If you love pickles, definitely give it a try. I do want to add the dill too, just to get that extra flavor. But these are really good, so give them a try, okay? Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna add the recipe down in the description so you guys can see it. Go ahead. And so you guys can make these. If you do make them, let me know, and let me know how you liked them. And if you like to add different things into your rolls or bread, whatever, let me know, because I want to try out some more. This is the first time I've added anything other than like garlic, butter, or cheese or something to my rolls. Okay.
Cool down.
You call that one? Okay. But yeah, let us know if you try them. And thank you so much for watching today's video, guys. If you have not yet joined us here at Langley Acres and subscribed, please do so. But we will see you guys on Monday. Bye.